Nintendo is garnering a lot of news over the past few weeks, and that's rightfully so. Today we got some new Switch 2 news, and an old game is making its long-awaited return. Let's break that all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. Alrighty, so today's Nintendo-themed news video is a grab bag of topics, but the one main theme here is older games. Up first, I want to get the quick stuff out of the way here and chat a bit about a new game coming to NSO, and that's all in the form of Banjo-Tooie. That's right, it was recently revealed by Nintendo themselves. The game will be coming to the NSO expansion pack for N64, and that's all on October 25th. Now, I only bring this news up because I used to play this game a lot as a kid. I loved it, I still love it, I'm definitely gonna play it when it hits the Switch, but I also think it represents Rare at their peak. And I also think Xbox should be listening to the reception of this game very closely. Now, the only reason why I bring that up is because in the past, Phil Spencer talked about how he heard Banjo fans. And normally when he talks about the game, it means something, so that could be left up for debate. But this all could be a good gauge if there is interest in more content from this beloved franchise. Now on to the bigger part of today's video. We got some more information coming out of that Pokemon Giga Leak. Now, with over 1 terabyte of information leaking out to the general public, it's safe to say there was a lot to get through. And real quick, I'm going to address this here and now. What on earth were those Typhlosion and Vigoroth stories? I read them. I couldn't believe them. Just that coming from Pokemon? I mean, this is insane. Anyways, traumatizing lore aside, we got the alleged codename for the Switch 2 being out, and hey, that's great and all. But more information came out for this highly anticipated feature for the Switch 2, and I do think this is a feature that could take the console to the next level. Quote, out, the Switch 2 seems to use the same tools and ROM format Nintendo currently uses for the Switch 1. ROMs are still NSPs, but obviously they have a new encryption key that only Nintendo has. So, tech talk aside, long story short, this could confirm backwards compatibility. And that goes without saying. That's not that I really doubted Nintendo, because in the past, they've been fairly good when it comes to this department. What I think is more interesting here is the concept of getting more out of the current Switch. We have titles like Breath of the Wild, the Xenoblade games, Pokemon, and much more, which, in my opinion, all of those games and plenty more could really use a performance boost. And this could all, in theory, be done if the console does use the same ROM formats. Now, how they go about this is up to them. Whether they take the route of something like DLSS or AI upscaling, that is yet to be talked about. And I can't help but think this is a prime opportunity to bolster the Switch library of games, and maybe boost sales for the games in that department. And that's all for people who did skip out on certain games because they heard how bad they were performing. I think it goes without saying, people definitely seen how Scarlet and Violet were performing, and they probably looked at that and said, yeah, I'm good without that. Plus, if this does come to fruition, I'd be more than willing to go back and give games like Breath of the Wild, or even Scarlet and Violet, another go. And that's all in this proposed performance mode. Not to mention those first few months upon the console's release could be filled with giving these titles the performance boost. And that could then give Nintendo the time to start really hitting their stride with native Switch 2 games. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. What do you think about all this? Do you think there's room for a performance boost for any of these titles? I'd really like to know. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.